asking them.
I don't know. They don't. I don't know if you have any respect for yourself or as a speaker. For the benefit of the House, I should like to take this opportunity to briefly state the constitutional and legal principles that govern the appointment of a Commissioner of Police. The notification is submitted in complete obedience to Section 123 of the Constitution, which, when read together with the Commissioner of Police and Deputy Commissioner of the Police Selection Process Number 2, Order of 2021, provides a deliberate, transparent, and constitutionally safeguarded framework for the selection and appointment of individuals to the highest offices within the police service. At the core of the process lies the Commission, a constitutionally established and independent body, vested with the authority to ensure that such appointments are made on the basis of merit, integrity, and institutional suitability. More on that in a while, because my friends opposite seem to get into fits when we point out to them that this process has not been faithfully observed in the past, and not by us. And I say us this afternoon, not by them. So the process is rigorous. It involves advertisement, comprehensive security and professional vetting, the establishment of an order of merit list, familiar to a gentleman who used to be on the other side, who had a propensity to take, steal, borrow, whatever, the list. But seriously, the legal and constitutional validity of the framework was affirmed by the High Court, by Justice Kangaloo, in the matter Balgobin Maraj and the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago in 2021. I won't go into that today, but the judgment of Justice Kokaram not only clarified the law, but unequivocally upheld the critical role of the Commission in preserving the independence and impartiality of the appointment process. It is this very interpretation, rooted in respect for constitutional safeguards and the rule of law, that we on this side have steadfastly upheld, and my learned friends on the other side have found all manner of ways to subvert and throw out disrespect. I shall, Mr. Speaker, respectfully say that the point that the government has vigorously defended the position that the Commission's authority is central to safeguarding the integrity and meritocracy of police leadership appointments cannot be seriously questioned. And I say too that it will be recalled that attempts to modify the process for acting appointments by many on the other side through the Constitution Amendment Bill 2024 failed, as we on this side stood firm in maintaining the Commission's role in appointments to the offices of Commissioner and Deputy Commissioner of Police. And we took those positions as a principled stand taken in support of lawful and transparent governance. Mr. Speaker, so I say that to say this. The notification is therefore far from an administrative formality. It is the culmination of a constitutionally enshrined process recognized by the courts, one that reinforces public trust, institutional stability, and the essential depoliticization of police leadership, a lesson that my friends on the other side have not learned. They should have learned before, because they were part of the drafting of these arrangements, to keep their grubby hands off the police service. So the framework strikes a careful and appropriate balance between independence oversight and democratic accountability, ensuring that those entrusted with leading the police service do so under the imprimatur of the Constitution and with full legitimacy. Now I turn now to Mr. Guevarro. This government expresses its unequivocal support for the nomination of Mr. Alistair Guevarro to the office of Commissioner of Police. Mr. Guevarro's distinguished career, spanning more than 2 decades in law enforcement, has been marked by dedication to public service, a consistent record of operational excellence, and commendable leadership in some of the most demanding and complex of circumstances. His nomination not only reflects the high regard in which he is held by the Police Service Commission, but also stands as a resounding endorsement of the integrity, transparency, and meritocratic rigor of the selection process undertaken by the Commission. It affirms that those who ascend to the highest ranks of the police service should do so and should be taken to have done so, not by favor, but by proven merit. They do so by principled conduct and a resolute commitment to the safety and security of all of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Again, this is a point that my friends on the other side ought by now to have learned. They have not. They hadn't. Mr. Guevarro is a seasoned law enforcement professional, bringing to the fore over 20 years of experience in national security. His distinguished service within the special branch has seen him occupy several critical investigative roles, each marked by discretion, diligence, and strategic acumen. He's a graduate of the Police Academy in 1996. He has continually sought to elevate his professional capacity. He has received specialized training at the International Law Enforcement Academy in El Salvador, holds a Master of Bachelor's Administration, and has done other courses, numerous other courses in various parts of the world. He has also been called upon in times of national importance to get intelligence on certain sensitive matters. Now, the government has full confidence in the Commission's nomination. We are eager to have the position of the substantive commissioner be regularized, and we know what has been going on for a considerable period of time under the stewardship of my friends opposite. The chaos that the nation has observed over the past month or two lies entirely at their feet. And so too does the anxiety of the citizens. It is an unequivocal truth that within recent years, the country has experienced a troubling upsurge in crime, with an increase in violent offenses. Those things have created widespread fear among citizens, placed immense pressure on the national security infrastructure. Our government, our new administration, has taken a resolute and unwavering stance in its commitment to reduce the high levels of violent crime in this country. And just for the record, we are also looking very seriously at something that my learned friends on the other side might be interested in, the investigation and prosecution of white-collar crime. So watch yourself, all of you, and those of you in front of me, watch yourself very carefully. The administration has prioritized national security as a top agenda item, with focused efforts on boosting law enforcement capacity, enhancing intelligence gathering, and restoring public trust in the police service. In this regard, the government recognizes the importance of appointing expert leadership in the position of Commissioner of Police to drive accountability, reform, and efficiency within the service. This renewed focus, we hope, signals the beginning of an improvement in restoring peace, ensuring justice, safeguarding the well-being of every citizen of this country, and returning us to a position where white-collar crime is punished. And I know that my friend from Aruka Lopino, in another incantation, would have spoken to me before he was infected by his other friends, seriously about white-collar crime. The role of Commissioner of Police is central to the architecture of crime fighting in Trinidad and Tobago. As the highest-ranking officer in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the Commissioner is vested with the power to manage the police service, mandated to ensure the effective and efficient use of all available resources. That position is reinforced by Section 45 of the Police Service Act, which charges the police with preserving peace, detecting crime, all crime, and apprehending offenders, functions that fall squarely under the strategic and operational leadership of the Commissioner. The importance of having a substantive, not acting Commissioner, cannot be overstated. We take this opportunity to place on record our deep appreciation to and thanks for the efforts of Mr. Junior Benjamin, who was left to rescue the service from the debacle that you had taken it to. This country owes him a debt of gratitude. We ask this Honorable House, therefore, to support the motion and to uphold the nomination of the Police Service Commissioner of Mr. Guevarro as this country's substantive Commissioner of Police. I beg to move.
Mr. Speaker, as I conclude my contribution to this most important motion,
no, don't study them. You go ahead. Don't study them. You go ahead.
Come on. Member for Tunapuna, Minister of National Security, I now call upon you.
Mr. Speaker, as I conclude my contribution on the most important motion, I wish to express sincere appreciation to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. As she led this action from the front and confirmed a Commissioner of Police. By doing this, we know that it will restore confidence in the process of appointment of a Commissioner of Police. As the Prime Minister said, she has no horse in the race. To all members of this Honorable House who have chosen to support the nomination of Mr. Alistair Guevarro to the post of Commissioner of Police, this should never be a political exercise, as was done in the past. This motion is not simply about affirming the name put forward by the Police Service Commission. It's about safeguard and public interest, ensuring the stability of Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. It also strengthens the public confidence in law enforcement and leadership. Mr. Guevarro is a seasoned, professional, patriotic servant of the Republic, a man whose qualifications and career speaks volumes. His broad experience in intelligence, covert operations, counterterrorism, and interagency collaboration position him uniquely to lead our police service in this challenging period. Mr. Speaker, I especially wish to commend the members of the opposition for their statesman-like approach in supporting the nomination.
I have no choice.
You want time to knock the desk?
No.
All right. There is also...
Don't even clap.
This is also a first for everything we have just witnessed, the first. It is often said that the national security should not be a political football, and today the Parliament lived up to that ideal. In recent years, we have witnessed the difficulties that can arise when consensus breakdown of matters as critical as the appointment of a Commissioner of Police. It is therefore not lost on the public, nor this government, that the decision to support Mr. Guevarro represents the maturing of our political culture, a movement where country comes before party.
Them don't know about that. You don't study them.
Let me say it again. Let me say it again. Let me say it again. A movement where country comes before party.
Yes. They don't know about that.
And stability triumph over division. This government is committed to restoring faith in our institutions. We have allowed the Independent Police Service Commission to do it without any interference. Am I to say that again?
Oh, yes, man. Say that again.
Yeah. We have allowed the Independent Police Service Commission to do their work free from interference. And today we are seeking the result of that integrity and appointment based on merit, experience, and service. Mr. Speaker, let us take this moment as a signal to the public that the Parliament can work. That when it comes to safety of our citizens and strength of our institutions and the protection of democracy, we must act as one. Let us give Mr. Guevarro the full backing he deserves as he prepares to lead the organization critical to the well-being and safety of every citizen. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as this House, as we continue to prioritize the safety and security of our nation, the government remains steadfast in its efforts in continuing and modernizing, strengthening the infrastructure within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. In this regard, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service recently purchased and received 67 new police vehicles. This vehicle was added to existing fleet, which we'll be able to utilize throughout the country. Like you don't know. The government has been committed to restore faith in our institutions. We have allowed the Independent Police Service Commission to do its job freely. Yeah? Also, I'm also advised that several critical projects currently in progress. These include construction of the Matura and Manzanilla Police Station, the establishment of a coastal and riverine unit at the Caranage Police Station, and the development work on the Police Academy. In addition, work is undergoing at the St. Madeline's Police Station. In Tobago, phase 1 of this establishment of the mounted and canine branch at the Chauvin Road Police Station is ongoing. Furthermore, the establishment of the state-of-art Police Academy in Komoto, evaluating the standards of local enforcement, training, and professional development is being undertaken. Let us support the brave men and women of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service by ensuring they have steady, respected leadership at the top. Let me repeat this. Let us all support the brave men and women of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service by ensuring they have steady, respected leadership at the top. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move.
Honorable members, the question is, be it resolved that the notification of the President of the nomination by the Police Service Commission of Mr. Alistair Guevarro to the Office of Commissioner of Police be approved. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any against? The ayes have it.
Bill, second reading.
Can I call on the Minister of Health?
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that a bill entitled An Act to Amend the Children's Life Fund Act, Chapter 2901, be now read a second time. Mr. Speaker, first of all, allow me the opportunity to congratulate you on your appointment as Speaker of this August House, and I want to wish you all the best going forward as you guide us through the process of conducting the business of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to congratulate the member for Siparia for being elected Prime Minister for the second time, and indeed as the only woman in our beloved nation to occupy the office of Prime Minister. Not once, Mr. Speaker, but twice. The member for Siparia remains an outstanding example of resilience, courage, and leadership for women in this country, especially those who are aspiring to high political office. And yes, member for Rima, perhaps one day your turn will come, but I want to say to you that it will be a long time from now because we have a lot to do on this side. To fix the problems that you all would have left on that side. I also want to take the opportunity, of course, to thank the good people of Oropuch West for their warm embrace and support for me as a Member of Parliament. And of course, I want to congratulate, I must congratulate all my colleagues on this side for their magnificent victories in their respective constituencies, especially the new ones who are joining us here today. Mr. Speaker, it is my belief that we will return to government last April 28 because the people were convinced of our capability and capacity to deliver on our manifesto promises. They believed that we were capable of doing the things that would make their lives, and that of their children better. And they believed that we were capable of bringing back visionary leadership and governance to Trinidad and Tobago. And, Mr. Speaker, the people were not wrong in choosing the team on this side. Because, Mr. Speaker, in the 5 short weeks that we have been in government, things have been happening in every ministry. And this is, of course, despite the deep financial hole that Trinidad and Tobago was left in by those on the other side. But we'll speak about that another time, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, today we are here to deliver on the first of several promises made to the population by the Honourable Prime Minister, the member for Siparia, when she asked the people of Trinidad and Tobago for their vote. And that is to amend the Children's Life Fund Act so that more of our children could benefit. It is no secret that fixing healthcare and caring for children has always been foremost in the mind and indeed in the heart of the member for Siparia, the Honourable Prime Minister. Her track record will show that, Mr. Speaker. So just like she did in her first term in 2010, with the passing of the Children's Life Fund Act, as one of her first actions as Prime Minister, we are here today to treat with the nation's children as we lay the very first bill in this first session of the 13th Parliament, having just taken the action to recommend the appointment of a Commissioner of Police, another very important function of this government and this Parliament, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank, of course, the Prime Minister for her faith in trusting me with the ministerial responsibility for health, but especially so for the honour and privilege to lay the very first bill in this 13th Parliament. Mr. Speaker, to the Prime Minister and to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, I say to you that I take this responsibility very seriously, and I give you the assurance that I will do my very best. So, Mr. Speaker, why are we coming to amend the Children's Life Fund Act here today? The Children's Life Fund Act 2010 was a historic and innovative legislative measure that gave hundreds of sick children another lease on life by creating a window for them to access highly specialized care from foreign experts at recognized institutions abroad when the required treatment was not available locally. Over the last 15 years, hundreds of lives have been saved. On the other hand, a number of applications were denied, and in many instances, decisions delayed, occasionally resulting in the possibly premature death of some children. Information supplied by the Children's Life Fund Authority show that during the period 2010 to 2025, the 15 years that the Life Fund has been in existence, that there were 472 applications for assistance. Of these, and I refer here to this document from the Children's Life Fund, of these 472 applications, 392 applications were approved, with those children subsequently receiving treatment abroad in foreign medical institutions with good outcomes in the majority of cases. So the Children's Life Fund undoubtedly, Mr. Speaker, remains an important item in the state's arsenal when it comes to providing the best care for our sick children. But, Mr. Speaker, the issue here has been the declined applications. On the other hand, we have had some 80 declined applications during the same period, 2010 to 2025. When we requested the information from the Children's Life Fund, Mr. Speaker, several reasons were advanced by the Children's Life Fund Board, as per the information provided here by the CEO, and I reflect on the table which was supplied, looked at the figures which were available from 2015 to 2025. And the reasons given, various reasons, Mr. Speaker. One of the common reasons is not life-threatening. The other reason would be poor prognosis. Another reason was treatment was for investigations, which is not life-saving. Another reason was patient requests fell outside the ambits of the Children's Life Fund Authority. But when this is analyzed, Mr. Speaker, one of the commonest conditions for which the Life Fund application was declined would have been for the condition called beta thalassemia major, which is a blood condition. And I'm going to speak a little bit about that in a short while, Mr. Speaker. So we are saying here that there were several applications which were declined, and for several reasons, which the proposed changes are intended to address in these amendments. The other issue, of course, in addition to applications being declined, Mr. Speaker, would have been the issue of long waiting times for the approval of applications. A perusal of the waiting times from the inception of the fund in 2010, Mr. Speaker, showed that initially, because of the teething problems, you would have had, a long waiting time. But then we would have come down at the end of 2014. There would have been a decline in the waiting time. And we speak here, when we speak of waiting time, we're speaking of application to approval. We are speaking of approval to departure. And therefore, when you add those two, you get a total processing time. And this is from the time an application is made to when the person, when the child, actually departs to have the treatment done. And that has come down to, so the approval to depart here is about 70 days. But, Mr. Speaker, this is still too long a time. And in many instances, that long wait can create a problem. So still, from 2014 to 2025, the figures we have, it is still somewhere around 85 days for departure. So that is something that needs to be addressed, Mr. Speaker, and it is the intention, of course, of these amendments to try to address that in some meaningful way. But the question here, Mr. Speaker, is what were the consequences of the long waiting times? And all of us here will be familiar with the numerous complaints, the numerous newspaper articles, Mr. Speaker. I don't intend to go into all of them, but just to reflect on the kind of pain and suffering that not only the children suffer, but of course the parents, Mr. Speaker. If you will allow me, Mr. Speaker, to quote from Trinidad Express, March 2nd, 2016, an article by Nikita Braxton. And I read, and this is regarding baby Miracle loses battle to live. And here, the father, the baby's father, Kerwin Cross, believes that had there been a shorter waiting period, Miracle would have been alive today. She waited, and this is painful, she waited as long as she could. She would have gotten through if the system was faster and if it was more efficient. She couldn't wait so long. It's so sad. End of quote there, Mr. Speaker. But I just use that, as an example of why this government, would have taken the step to try to improve the efficiency, not only in terms of expanding the conditions available, but of course in trying to make the process faster. Because 6 children at that age, time is of the essence in terms of accessing and providing medical care, Mr. Speaker. And, the article goes on to say that funds, and I quote again, funds for such complicated surgeries are usually approved in a maximum period of 2 weeks. The surgery was so complex, it took too long for the Life Fund to respond. I was angry and hurted. This is Kerwin Cross, Baby Miracle's father, expressing his emotions. And, This is 2016. Again in 2016, Newsday, Saturday, 18 June 2016. There's a sad case of a 1-year-old child, Naveen Hariprasad, who actually died while his state was seeking legal advice from the Ministry of the Attorney General on the question of the interpretation of the laws of the Children's Life Fund. So again, Mr. Speaker, it is in relation to some of these issues that we are here today to try and address and make the fund, the administration of the fund, a bit tighter. I'll just give a few more quotations here. And this is 2017. This is the next year, Mr. Speaker, and this is obviously a pattern happening here. And this is the case, says that Children's Life Fund turns down a 5-year-old child. And this 5-year-old child, it's in the newspaper, I can call the name, 5-year-old Halima Mohammed, who is ailing with beta thalassemia major, a blood disorder, and who had been accepted by a hospital in India to undergo a bone marrow transplant. And a bone marrow transplant is actually the cure for children with beta thalassemia major, which is a blood disease, was denied funding by the Children's Life Fund. So, Mr. Speaker, it goes on, and it shows, it's a pattern here in terms of the refusal or denial of the Children's Life Fund based on the current legislation and the constraints of the legislation, perhaps. And again, there's another case here of Jovi Mitchell, who is in need of a bone marrow transplant, beta thalassemia major, and his parents, Anita and Andres Mitchell, are farmers, and they were not able to afford the $1 million surgery. So we see, Mr. Speaker, here a pattern of a lot of pain and suffering, where you have parents, of course, who cannot afford these treatments. These treatments are not available locally, and therefore they rely upon the Children's Life Fund to assist them. I go on to 2022, Mr. Speaker, and the headline here in The Guardian of 24th April 2022 is Teens Death Raises Questions About Children's Life Fund. The death of a teenager while he was awaiting treatment abroad has raised questions about the operations of the Children's Life Fund. And this is the case of Tristan Ramlochan, who had a condition called acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And I put that on the record, Mr. Speaker, because this is one of the conditions that we are adding in Schedule 3 of the bill as we go forward. So I'm just showing that the addition and the expansion of the conditions that will be considered for assistance from the Children's Life Fund is expanded based on evidence, is based on a need that has been well established. So unfortunately, this 14-year-old died whilst awaiting the approval to travel. And so this condition of acute lymphoblastic leukemia, if one looks at the schedule, has actually been added as one of the conditions. And the last quotation I will make and put in the record, of course, is one of Jovi Mitchell, and again here is a condition of major blood disorder, beta thalassemia. And I speak of beta thalassemia because beta thalassemia is not a life-threatening condition. In many instances, it is not a life-threatening condition, and therefore it would not have qualified under the current situation for assistance by the Children's Life Fund. But it is indeed a condition, which carries a lot of morbidity, requires repeated blood transfusion, takes a lot of effort, and can affect the quality of life of the children. So, Mr. Speaker, before I go on, I want to put on the record, we note that although innovative and visionary in its conception in 2010 by then Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa, the Children's Life Fund had to evolve to meet changing circumstances and challenges. And this is where, over the last 15 years, would have been the shortcoming. So, Mr. Speaker, I have to ask a question. Did anyone else take notice of the issues regarding the Children's Life Fund besides the media and besides the opposition, the then opposition? And I see my colleague, the then member for Princestown, who is here on the side today, would have on many occasions raised several issues regarding some of these children, regarding the delay in waiting. Remember, he's here with us. He will recall, of course, as early as 2016, 2017, he would have flagged in this very house, together on the advice of the Prime Minister, member for Vancouver South now here. And of course, that was an issue. So we, besides the media, we in the opposition would have raised these issues. But, Mr. Speaker, story goes on. Somebody else had a look at this. Somebody else was worried, Mr. Speaker. And who was worried about this? Mr. Speaker, a joint select committee of this Parliament was worried about this. And the Joint Select Committee of Parliament did an inquiry, and the report I have in my hand here, April 1st, 2022. April 1st, 2022, Mr. Speaker. It's 3 years ago. Just over 3 years ago. And this here is a report of is a third report of the Joint Select Committee on Local Authorities, Service Commissions, and Statutory Authorities. And the recommendation, and this would have been submitted to the Ministry of Health, Mr. Speaker. Normally, the report of a Joint Select Committee is submitted to the Ministry for the ministerial response. And I have to quote from this, and I quote, "The CLFA, meaning the Children's Life Fund Authority, should develop a draft proposal to amend Act Number 12 of 2010 to accommodate a wider range of children in need of medical treatment."
And I think members would have been informed prior to today's sitting that we are going, pursuant to Standing Order 12.2, we are going to take the break at 4:30. We're going to resume the break at 4:30. Now, I am aware that the Standing Order says half hour. I'm also aware of the countervailing principle that the House has the power to regulate itself. If there is no objection by anyone, I would suggest perhaps 45 minutes. We've been here for quite a long time. So, subject to what members of the House say, I propose we resume at 5:15, if there's no objection. Okay. Well, the House until 5:15.